I'm going to make a program which is a simple chop of a break. It's going to be chopped on kick, snare and hat. I'll just show you how I do it so that if you've got one of these samplers you can copy it if you need to. So I'm going to start off by pressing name, go into single program edit, and then pressing the name button and giving this new program a name. So I'm just going to call it chop, whatever the break is, and chop. And then copy, press copy, which copies the test program into the newly named one that I've just named. And so gone into the key group and then sample, and I'm going to go over to pitch and keep it constant because I want to place each chop chromatically on the keyboard, so I don't want it pitching up as I go up to different chops. So that's what will keep the pitch constant there. So back to key group, and then go down to number of key groups. It's just going to be 3 for now. And then first chop. Have I done that? Yeah. Okay, so this one's going to be Supreme. So I'll just give it an abbreviated name. Sup. So I name them as simply and short, as short as I can, basically, because it's a pain to do on here. So that's the kick. I'm gonna go mono. I record through Digi-In, turn the monitor off so I don't get feedback because I'm monitoring into Ableton. And I want to sample at 10k just to save disk space. I'm going to bring this record threshold all the way down pretty much. So we're just going to arm and record the kick. Record the break starting at the kick, should I say. So normalize it. And then trim it as well. Can zoom into the start point. And then just cut it. Back to sample, press name. And go over and we'll take a snare, starting at the snare this time. See if I can line it up. Normalize and trim again. So one more, which will be the hat. Where's T? Should really loop that because no, it doesn't work. That'll do. So we got the 3 slices of the break. I'm going to go back to the program. What did I call it? Oh no, I called it the same thing. Oops. So it was that one. I'm going to call it SUP. And then click rename, because I only want to rename that one. So it has got three key groups. Let's just go and place the kick one in. Key group 1 is what I'm in. I'm editing one at a time. So I'll go and put the kick in there. So that's 1. Key group 2, I'll go and put the snare in here. Key group 3, put the hat. So that's cool, that's fine. So back to key group and span. So now I've got to lay out the samples on the key ranges or key zones that I want. So basically I go from C3 up. So I go MIDI to span, just turn it on and enter the keys I want. So C, D and E, and then turn it off. So that's mapped them going from C3 to E3. So all that should be good. Let's just give it a little test. So because I took the hi-hat sample, it was kind of lower volume than the kick and snare one, because in the kick and snare, the kick and the snare are the highest thing. So with the hi-hat, it's slightly the wrong volume, because after normalizing it, it's pushed the levels up slightly too much. So I could go in and edit that hi-hat one a bit and just bring the volume down. So if I go to key group 3 sample, then I could just bring the loudness down a bit. It's a bit better, maybe 10. Anyway, the key group is the program is fine now. Should find that it works at the tempo that I've made it at. So I'll just make a quick pattern. Let's just see. So another thing you could do is edit the program, and you could put it to monophonic with the polyphony. And you could, or another way to do that is just mute group it and give it like a number. I think there's quite a few you can choose, yeah. So say you could just put it on mute group 1 and it'll cut off the other keystrokes. So that is, it's pretty good. The timing works out well from Ableton. Yeah, it's all fine. So I mean, if you're working with that program that you've made and you've got trouble with the syncing it up with the sequencer, the best thing to do is just tune the whole program as a whole. So you make your sequence and then tune the program, which gives you a good degree of flexibility. So so you can get it all sounding right, basically. So yeah, so that's how I make a program. And because it's so long-winded, I always obviously make sure to save it immediately. You can save the entire volume, but I usually just do cursor programs and samples. But saving the entire volume is fine, but you can easily fill up your zip disk because it's 100 megabytes. Anyway, hope that helps someone. Cheers.